listeners. Welcome to Plano's Political Pitbull Podcast. I am Esther.
And I'm Ruth.
And we have a lot of news for you today. But first, our sponsor is Southwest Pain Management. Southwest Pain Management takes care of most chronic pain without pain pills. Their goal is to get you back to doing things you love. They are also the world's leading long COVID experts. Dr. Groisman sees people from all over the world to treat their long COVID. Southwest Pain Management is in Plano. Please go to their website, reliefbeginshere.com. That's reliefbeginshere.com to see all that they do. So first, I need to warn you today that some of what I am about to tell you may irritate you because it irritates me greatly. So, I will start off with some good news. We have a good update on Plano ISD. Plano ISD, Independent School District, has acknowledged that they are under investigation by the Texas Education Agency for the allegations of anti-Semitism. Also, the Board of Trustees said they would do an independent investigation into the allegations. So, that is the good news. Now for the irritating part. Plano School Board voted to get rid of the non-agenda public comments section of their meeting. Now, 2 board members voted against it. Michael Cook and Sam Johnson were the lone no votes. 20 residents signed up to speak against this and were completely ignored, except for those lone 2 guys. Anyone wanting to run for school board out there in 2027, those that voted yes on these measures are the ones you need to target. They're the ones you need to run against. I also am going to say something I never thought I would say. Brace yourself, Ruth. This may give you a heart attack.
I doubt it.
City Council does a better job at their meetings than the school board.
It's not a high bar.
True, it is not a high bar. Not only are they better at their board meetings, they are also better at transparency than the school board.
Again, not a high bar.
The school board sucks at every level, and major changes need to happen with that board to get it to be answerable to the people who put them there.
The board basically infuriates me.
Yeah, pretty much. It infuriates
a lot of people.
A lot of the parents who are stuck, trapped in the Plano school system, who cannot get out. It's pathetic.
This is why people try to escape public schools.
Yeah. I mean, the president of the board, she actually read from a written statement about the issue that was going on in the schools and the investigation. And she actually kind of put some blame or tried to scapegoat former trustee Cody Weaver. It was an acknowledgement that this stuff was going on, but it was sort of like yeah, we can do better, and we take these things seriously, but there was no...
Yeah, you take it so seriously, sure.
There was no passion behind her statement. There was no sincere, we're sorry. It was just this,
Because
like she was reading from a script, which she was reading from a script. Unlike what happened at the Rockwall County School Districts in Rockwall, I think it's Rockwall Heath High School, where there were found one morning as the kids were coming to the high school, there were 2 Nazi flags hanging on the building. I don't know how these kids or whoever did this, got up to the roof and were able to put these flags against the building. Don't ask me how they did it. That school board, that president had a lot of passion and condemnation for the people who did it, and was much more sympathetic to those that this hurt. If you'd like to see what a real, statement looks like, you can go to our Facebook page, Plano's Political Pitbull Facebook page. I have posted that video for everyone to see. Now, I have some more good news. The new congressional maps are done, and we have passed them out of the Texas House and the Senate. They're on their way to the governor's desk. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, finally. Also, some flood bills have passed both chambers. The warning system also passed both chambers. Now, each version has to, they have to come together and they have to kind of get married in a nice bill marriage ceremony and then pass both chambers, and then we'll be on to the governor. And hopefully we will have some flood relief, some procedures, and some warning systems. Now, the Disaster Preparedness Bill, SB 2, Senate Bill 2, it passed both chambers and is on its way to the governor's desk. So, good there. That is the end of the good news I have.
That was short.
It was short. Now we're going to go to City Council, Plano City Council.
Oh, our favorite.
Yes. So on August 11th, the old Fry's property was finally rezoned. This property has been sitting in limbo for so long. It was just sitting there after Fry's left, and then just sitting there. It was rezoned to a mixed-use development, which nobody was too enthusiastic about. And then the property owner came back and said, well, we have an interested party who'd like to buy the building as is. So now they had to rezone it again. So it is going to become a commercial flex warehouse. The outside of the building will pretty much remain the same. They're going to get a new paint job so it'll look pretty, and a new sign. And then inside, the owner will be dividing up the space into 5 to 2,500 square feet units to be used by 120 small businesses. Some of the tenants will be, hopefully, retail e-commerce, distribution businesses, wholesale businesses, construction, assembly, robotics and tech, creative space, maybe for like an artist who wants to use it as a studio, book printing, things that don't need your traditional office, but the person has grown out of their garage or their house.
120?
Yeah, 120.
How big is
small
this
businesses.
place?
Oh, it's huge. It's humongous. So they're taking it and they're going to divide it up.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So the building will have a shared kitchen, conference rooms, and some office spaces for the tenants if they need it. There'll be a general building manager on site to make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. This building will be open 24/7. So this all sounds wonderful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Artists may now have studio space. Mr. Levine, there's your studio space.
No. We gotta spend money to build new places for the studio space.
Mm-hmm. Well,
because we love to waste money.
Yes, well, we know that. And I'm getting to that part soon.
Oh, I read your mind?
So, just one problem with this whole rezoning package. The city approved it, but the way they went about approving it wasn't kosher, as we like to say. So.
Oh boy, what'd they do?
Yeah. Isn't exactly kosher. So. Everything sounded great. The person made their presentation. And then a former planning and zoning commissioner got up. His name is Bill Lyle. And he said he's not against this. He thinks it's a great idea. He said, we already have two in Plano that are actually zoned for warehouse. One is on Plano Parkway. It is zoned LI1. I believe that is Light Industrial 1. And the other one is on 10th Street, which is also zoned Light Industrial 1. So we have other districts for light commercial and light industrial that are more permissive than the corridor commercial zoning area that the warehouse is going to be. This new use, the commercial flex warehouse, is what they're calling this new use. It says in the staff report that it's a new use. There's just one problem with that. In Article 8, Section 1400 and 14200 in our zoning code, according to Mr. Lyle, that the code is not being updated as part of the request. And he said, quote, we're going around our law to create an allowance for one user. So what happens when somebody outgrows the 20,000 square foot space that this building is, that this is allowed in this particular warehouse, and they want to take the 30,000 square feet they need and they start leasing out spaces. They will find that there is only one company allowed to do that in Plano. Now, I said to myself, as I'm listening to this gentleman, are we allowed to create a new zoning district for one company?
I'm very confused.
I don't think so. Okay, well, tell me what you're confused about. I was confused at first as well. I had to watch it a couple of times.
Just the concept, like how...
The warehouse flex space?
No. Why do they want to bend the rules for this one company? Who is this company?
Good question. So the only reason I can think of that they want to kind of bend the rules is that If they had gone about adding this to the zoning code, that would have required code language to be written up. That would have required them to go to the planning and zoning and then have a public hearing at planning and zoning, and then go to city council and have a public hearing there. Then they could bring this zoning change. That would have taken a long time. And this building, this is my guess, this building has been sitting empty for quite a number of years now. The city wants it to be used like tomorrow.
So this one business can't operate under the current zoning that it's zoned at.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone else would be fine, whoever would use it. What is this company?
This is what they do. They operate these warehouses where they divide up these large warehouse spaces and lease them out to small businesses who need the space for whatever.
Okay. Okay, I just missed something. That's why I was confused. Okay, so the company in which they want to come in that will use the space to divide it up to a bunch of different small businesses can't operate under the zoning it's currently at.
Yes.
Why don't they just change the zoning and be done with it?
Well, I'm not quite sure why the light industrial wouldn't fit. I mean, according to Bill Lyle,
that's also confusing.
We have this concept in other areas. Why don't they just zone this light industrial? Which is sort of what it is. You're talking about robots, you're talking about e-commerce, where basically they're packing up the boxes and shipping them off. There's going to be docks for big trucks for distribution. So why not just zone it light industrial? Nobody answered that question either.
Did anyone ask?
No. Let me tell you, we have a bunch of bumps on a log in city council now.
Bumps on a log?
Yeah. They're mute. They don't say a word. The only people who are asking questions most of the time are the people who've already been on council, like Julie Homer and Maria Tu and Horn.
Maybe they're just shy. They haven't found their voice yet. I don't know.
I don't know either. It boggles my mind why most of them just sat there silent. So I'm not sure why they don't just use this and call it light industrial. Bill Lyle asked, why are we not updating the code so that other people can do this? Or would staff not support it in most cases in corridor commercial, which is what this area, there's going to be one track that's corridor commercial. And then they've got an apartment building next door. And I think another apartment building on the other side.
I know this doesn't really, this hasn't, I'm backtracking a bit, but the newbies not asking questions is kind of interesting to me, or funny, I guess, because during their retreat/team building meeting, which we didn't cover because there wasn't really anything to cover.
Still have to finish listening to it. It's very hard. The recording is not the best. But
I'm sorry, they were talking very low.
I'm trying to get through it. I am.
They were talking very quietly. There was only like one or two people that were talking at a projection type volume. But anyhow, they talked about during that meeting about being able to ask questions and being able to, during meetings, speak your mind respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
And that, yeah, they want you to speak during the meeting and even explain your reasoning for what you're thinking, but it seems like none of them took that to heart. Based on what I'm hearing, and are kind of just sitting there,
so
staying silent.
I can say out of the 4 new people, no, 4? Yes, 4 new people.
You lost count?
I did. I lost count. Hold on. Is it 4? Out of the new people,
Counting's hard.
Care is the most questioner. Okay? He out of all the new guys, he asks questions the most.
That's interesting. During the meeting, he also mentioned how at their first meeting before the retreat, how he didn't end up saying anything. And then they were like, we want to hear your voice. So I guess he took that to heart.
Yes. It's not a lot of questions. I mean, he's no Anthony Riccadelli, who was the master of questions. But out of the 4, he asks questions and speaks the most. Next,
we have development.
Yes. The next one I'd say is Steve Levine. And then
he does seem like he'd be the most outspoken. Out of the bunch.
You'd think, but he's been relatively quiet.
That's surprising.
And then Vidal also asks a couple of questions. I have not heard one question that I can think of from Downs. She is the quietest of them all. She does seem pretty
quiet. Just like a quiet person in general.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's why she gets along with her husband. He's a chatty Cathy.
Well, opposites attract.
Yes. Anyway, Lyle went on and he asked, the other way that we could do this is something called an SUP, which is called a specific use permit. They could have done it that way too. Kept the zoning or change as is, which was mixed use development, or put in the corridor commercial, but then have this as a specific use permit. He said there's a lot of ways we could do this and still follow our current ordinance. Instead, they didn't do that. So I don't like that. Either do it right or don't do it at all.
There is ways to do it. Why? This isn't there's no reason to bend the rules, to break anything. You can do it while following the practices. And there's no reason.
Exactly. And
unless you're just lazy.
If you wanted them to get there yesterday, the company, and do this, you could have given them a specific use permit and then go back and write an ordinance or a use as flex warehouse and have time to do that. And then you don't need a specific use permit anymore for that building.
Were they just it's going to take too much time and we don't want to wait?
Well,
and they were lazy and didn't want to do the extra work or whatever.
My guess is it's probably time. Factor. But
yeah, I have to agree.
They could have done a specific use permit, then created the use or the zoning out of that. And then the place doesn't need a specific use permit anymore.
They maybe didn't think of that.
I don't know. Well, here's what the past or old guard on the council said. So, Councilwoman Homer, she said that She takes Mr. Lyle's points very well, and she thinks that they should introduce a new use, just not today.
Huh?
Yeah, she said she agreed basically with Mr. Lyle, but wasn't prepared to add a new use to the code today. So, in other words, she said, let's bring it back for another time, but let's pass this today so that this company can get started, because it's going to bring in new jobs and economic development, and it'll be good for the area. And Mark Israelson, city manager, said it would be good to bring it back, and then they can change it and have more time to do it. Councilman 2 agreed with Homer. She said that, I was shocked at this. She actually said that Mr. Lyle brought up some really good points. They haven't always gotten along in the past, these two. She thinks that it's a wonderful idea, the whole concept, and we should have more of them. And we should do some research before we change the code. And Councilmember Horn appreciated Mr. Lyle's comments. This was a good day for Mr. Lyle. He's usually a fly in the ointment. But again, wanted to wait on changing the code. So
why did they want to wait on changing the code? I mean, I know they gave the reasons, but I still don't get it.
Well, they weren't prepared to do that today. I mean, this is going to take time. It's going to take research. They got to know like where these areas would fit. Maybe they can even fit it in under a use in light industrial. You know, so politics. You know, it's a lot of bureaucratic red tape, as I like to call it. All right. So it's good that Fry's building will actually have a new owner, get some life put into it, and it won't just be there like a bump on a log doing nothing. So
I've never heard that phrase, bump on a log.
Yeah, it's a phrase. Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting one.
So now on to the thing that every year makes my blood boil. And oh, how I missed Anthony and Shelby this year.
Wait, let me guess. The budget.
Yes, the budget, specifically the tax rate. Yes. I really, really missed those two. We really could have used their voice. We could have used anybody's voice.
Oh, nobody really said anything?
Not really, no. This is where they were bumps on a log.
I feel like this is the quietest council
It is.
we've ever had.
If Maria Chu didn't speak up as much as she did, things would get done at lightning speed. She's like the only one that consistently talks, which makes my job easier, you know. Thanks, Maria. So, at the same meeting, the next thing the city council did was to decide on the proposed tax rate that would be published in the newspaper and on their website. So the city manager, he was asking for the current tax rate of 4.6 cents per $100 of appraised value. We spoke on this last week when he had his budget come out. And yes, it is his budget. It only becomes the city's council budget when they actually look at it and delve in the numbers. So that was his proposal. That's what he wanted. Then our very good friend, who we've known for quite some time now, Budget Director Karen Rhodes Whitley, she made her presentation on the tax rate.
Is this where your blood began to boil?
Not yet. We're gonna get there. So she went over each tax rate that the council could pick from. All right, and they could pick without triggering an election. If they go higher than a certain amount, they have to go to the voters and ask them if they can have this tax rate. Nobody wants to do that. All right? First of all, it's a lot of money to have an election. And second of all, if you ask somebody, can we raise your taxes? What do you think the answer is going to be?
No.
Yes. So, exactly right. So, yeah, they want to avoid that like the plague. So she went through each rate. Which rate do you think these people picked?
It's above the threshold?
No, they were smart enough not to go above the election.
Oh, it's just under.
Exactly. They picked the highest rate they were allowed to pick, which is called the voter approval rate, which makes no sense because you don't need voter approval. Right? Anywhere after that rate, then you need voter approval.
Well, I think it's called the voter approval rate because this is the amount, it's like the limit that voters approve of. Uh-huh. And if you go over, then you have to ask permission and you're likely going to get a no.
Right. So guess whose brilliant idea this was to go to the highest rate they could go to?
That's hard.
Oh, no, it's not. Because this person has asked for it every single year and even said it. And every year, Anthony and Shelby would fight her on it.
Okay, you gave me some clues.
I just used a pronoun.
You've given me clues, but I have the memory of a goldfish and I still can't figure it out. So I'm going to guess. Is it Maria too?
You are right. Somebody give this woman a prize. Yes.
I don't want it.
It was Councilwoman Maria too. So, here are the rates that they could have picked from. And then, of course, Karen has to show them how much money they can get out of each rate. I guess she has to do that. So, the no new revenue rate, that's basically the same money that they had got last year, they would get this year, not including any new properties that came online. That's gravy. All right. That would have been 41.94 cents. The city would get an additional revenue of about $1.2 million. All right. Specifically, $1,166,331. But we'll just round it to 1.2. The voter approval rate before you have the election, that would be 42.86 cents, and the revenue there would increase to around $7.1 million in additional revenue. There's another rate It is called the voter approval rate with tax increment. This is complicated. If you want to understand it, go and watch the meeting. It was August 11th. You can skip down to the line item about the tax rate. You don't have to watch the whole meeting. But Karen is very thorough, and she explains how the increments work. That rate is the highest at 44.06 cents. That would give the city $14.9 million more dollars. Now, do you see why Maria, too, wanted the highest rate?
Yeah.
I mean, 14.9 million. Oh, that's double the amount of money of the voter approval rate without the tax increment. And certainly 13 more times the no new revenue rate. Again, not really what it should be called, because you do get new revenue.
So the fact that she's again, I don't remember this. It's kind of embarrassing.
That's why I'm here.
Yes, to be my brain. Okay, so she's asked for this rate before.
She's asked for the highest rate every single year,
yes.
Whatever that rate was.
Yes. I'm assuming she has not gotten the highest rate every year she's asked.
No, because we've had council people like Anthony and Shelby who say, hold up.
Yeah, well, we didn't have them this year, so let me guess. This time it was approved. And that's why your blood is boiling.
Yes, it was approved. Nobody said a word. No one else. Okay? I mean, the thing that she said, Maria too said was, and it's true, once it is advertised in the newspaper, it is just the proposed rate. They can go down, but they can't go up before they approve it September 8th. Do you know how many times the rate went down from the proposed rate?
0.
In the last 16 years, a whole 0. Yes, you are correct. I don't know of all time. I haven't been here forever, so I can't tell you that.
But, go far back in history. Yeah. Maybe it happened once.
It's possible. Not likely, but possible, yes. So that is one of the reasons why Anthony and Shelby, and sometimes Rick, would say, no, stop. We know that that's not going to happen. We know that if we propose a rate and we're expecting more revenue, we're going to find a way to use that revenue. They were not born yesterday. Not only did nobody say a word, Steve Levine seconded her motion, which I was not surprised about. I was actually expecting it from Steve, and then to be like, yes, let's do that. But it went in reverse order.
Well, still, they're 2 peas in a pod.
Mm-hmm. So what does this mean for you and me as the average resident homeowner? So the state allows values of homes to go up a max 10% a year. So the proposed rate that the city manager was asking for would have increased the bill $144. All right? The no new revenue rate which would have been a little higher at 41.94%, 41.94 cents, that would have raised your bill $152. Now you're probably wondering, wait, if it's no new revenue, why is my bill going up? Well, because, as Shelby used to say, your mileage varies. So it's going to depend on your evaluation. So, as he used to say, your mileage varies. It could go up, it could go down. This is an average. The average, by the way, home now is more than $500,000.
Oh, geez.
So that's what these numbers are based on. They're based on the average home. So obviously yours, if you have a lower priced home, will be less. Your final bill, it could be more. This is as we say, the average. So the voter approval rate without the increments is 42.86 cents. That would raise the average homeowner's bill $193. And the voter approval rate with increments that Maria 2 wants, 44.06 cents, will raise your bill to $248. What can you get for $248? I think I'm going to do a list of what you could get for $248.
I mean, it depends on the amount you're getting too, because you could get like a bunch of small things, or you could get like one giant thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So
yeah, I think I'll do a list, and maybe next time I'll read that list off, because I find it very interesting when they go, it's only this or it's only that. They stopped doing that, actually.
Yeah, because it's not just only to some people. $200 is a lot.
Now, by the way, this is in addition to all the service fees that they want to raise. They're going to raise your water and sewer rates 7% each. They're going to raise your drainage fee, your trash fee. The list is endless of all the fees they're going to be raising. So you got to come up with the bigger property tax bill, and you've got to come up with all of these fees.
Why do government bodies love to raise taxes?
I don't know. Before Maria made her motion that nobody said a word to, except Steve Levine, who seconded it, Councilmember Horn did say, we have some outstanding issues. We have to cover the cost of services. I said, you have a proposed budget. You are covering the cost.
You can't do that with the tax rate that we have now? Because I think you can.
I don't know. I mean, they might have things they want to have or want to do, but they weren't in the budget. So why are you... The budget was balanced.
Well, that's the thing. We have, I think we needed a refresher course of wants and needs. You know that thing you learn in kindergarten?
Mm-hmm.
What's a want and what's a need?
Yeah. Mark said that we have huge bonds that passed. Well, yeah, that's the debt side of your property tax rate ledger. You've got two parts of the property tax rate. You have your operation and maintenance, they call it O&M, and then the other part is debt. The debt never changes. They can't raise that. They can only change the operation and maintenance side, which is what makes the whole rate go up, because they keep changing that every year. So
is the reason they want to raise it is because they want, again, we need to reevaluate wants and needs. Is this really a need, or do they just want it? they want certain things and maybe it's not able to fit in the budget. And so they think, oh, if we raise the taxes up and we get some more money to spend, then we can get the things that we want. Is that the logic we thinking?
Yes, I think so. Because Chu said that we're asking for the max allowed so we can finish our budget. Your budget is done. It's the...
Yeah, didn't they already pass it?
No, they didn't pass it. Mark Israelson...
Oh, yeah, they're passing it tomorrow, right? No?
September 8th.
Okay.
Tomorrow, August 25th, 7 p.m., is the public hearing on the budget
and
the tax rate.
I got mixed up.
Anyway, I will tell you of something they wanted that Mark Israelson did say. The bane of my existence. Economic development. He wants more of that. Apparently, the $41 million we currently have in the fund is just not enough. Wants to put more money in there. He said some things were left out of the budget, and he'd like to see them back, I guess. So that's why Maria was like, well, let's finish the budget. See, no, your budget was finished. He left stuff out. Either you can do your job and add stuff in and cross stuff out.
Also, the thing is, if it was left out, that means it wasn't as important as other things.
Yeah. I don't think they should be a rubber stamp. I hate that. You know, the city manager proposes a budget and they're just like, oh, yes, fine, love it, rubber stamp. No. They are the entity that controls the purse. They are like the House of Representatives in Washington, D.C. They control the purse strings. So they can take their little red pen and they can go line by line through the budget and say, okay, we're crossing out dinner for us. It would be a nice
They would never do that, and you know it.
I know, but one can dream. I mean, they have the gall to want more money from the people, and they do not want to cut their dinner.
I love how angry you get about this one little thing.
To me, it's not a little thing. Do you know we have over 36% of low-income or income disadvantaged people living in Plano?
Yeah, I know.
That is a huge amount. You know, I'm sure those folks could use a dinner. Why don't you buy them dinner instead of making them pay for yours? It's just so wrong. It's so
selfish,
tacky and selfish and self-centered, and I hate it. Go buy yourself a lunchbox. You know what?
And they can afford it.
That's what I would put in the budget. Lunch boxes for council people. Then they can bring their own dinner.
And they can afford it too. I mean, a lot of these people are like lawyers and such.
We have 2 lawyers, yes. We have Steve, who lives in a very, very expensive house and drives a Tesla.
I think he can afford to bring his own meals.
He may have gotten rid of that car. I don't know. I saw on Facebook he was driving a Tesla. So, figured he owned it. But yeah, you can afford your dinner, okay? Meanwhile, you're literally taking a cart full of groceries, multiple weeks a week full of dinners from people.
Or lunches.
Or lunches, yes. It's a grocery cart.
It's just funny to me because you get so mad.
I do. I get very mad about the dinners and the food. I'm Jewish. I don't mind feeding people as long as it's my choice.
It's like whenever you harp on the cows on Legacy West. She will not let go about the cows that once lived where Legacy West is.
They still live there. They just now are more shoved into a smaller area because
the way you always talk about it, it sounds like they're gone.
Not yet. They're still there. They're still hanging on to a small little piece of property, but now they don't have as much room to roam. Okay? The poor cows. The poor longhorns. No, they're longhorn cows too. They're Texas cows.
Yeah.
All right. So, as I said, August 25th, 7 p.m., the city will have a public hearing on the budget and on the tax rate. So please feel free to go down there and complain. Remember, you have to sign up online to speak, and you must do this before, I think it's 4 p.m., the day of the meeting. But do it as early as possible. You can also, if you don't want to speak, you don't have to speak, but you can register your opinion on the website, and they do get it. Do they listen to it? I don't know, but if you don't feel like trugging down there, I understand. Just, you can register your opinion. So, I find it all very interesting that right now I'm in the middle of watching the budget work session. Again, they're saying nothing. Just barely any questions. And the part I find most interesting is Karen Rhodes Whitley. She tells them the outline of the schedule when we hit the dates of everything. She says, well, we're going to have another public hearing on the 25th. And then she says, September 8th, you will pass the budget. And you will pass the tax rate.
That's not how this works.
I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Why is it a given that they will pass the budget and the tax rate?
Yeah, that's weird wording.
First of all, the fiscal year does not begin until October 1st. So that meeting for September 8th is almost a month from the beginning of the new fiscal year. The fiscal year starts in October. Don't ask me why, I don't know, but that's when it starts. So they have to have a budget and they have to have a tax rate by October 1st, or at least September 30th. If they don't, what happens is they revert to last fiscal year's budget and tax rate. Not the end of the world. Actually, a council did do that. They voted against their own budget and their tax rate, so it just reverted to the previous year.
Okay.
But this is not supposed to be a given.
It is a little weird that she's just assuming that they're going to pass it, or just kind of just saying, like, on this date, you are going to, like, it's an order, you are going to pass this budget.
Yeah.
And, like, no, they can say no, and you have to revise it.
Exactly.
That's kind of how this is supposed to work.
Right. I really,
actually, not kind of, that is how it's supposed to work.
Yeah, that is definitely how it is supposed to work. I mean, she didn't say it mean or anything, or in a nasty tone.
No, but the wording implies.
Yes. She said, on September 8th, you will pass the budget, and on September 8th, you will pass the property tax rate. I'd be like, excuse me, what do you mean we will? This is not a given.
Like,
we are not required to pass it.
What should have been said is, you will go, you will vote on the budget, and you will vote on, and on this date, you will vote on, what was the second thing?
The tax rate.
The tax rate. Thank you.
Right. Exactly. I find it really odd. It's like, who's leading who? Who's running this city? Who's in charge? Now, Karen is a very nice woman, and she wasn't being mean. She wasn't being...
No, but there's an assumption, and it's kind of scary.
There is an assumption that staff says, and Mark Israelson says, you will do this. But no, I will vote on it. Don't tell me how I'm going to vote.
It's not like they're demanding control, but there is some sort of assumption that they do have all this power that they think they have, and council agrees with them in a sense, and is like there's an assumption that they are the rubber stamp, and maybe that's why they're so quiet. I don't know. The whole dynamic, there's something weird going on.
Yeah, very weird going on. I don't like it. That's why I said I miss Shelby and Anthony. They were the only ones that consistently pushed back and protected the residents of Plano, or tried to at least.
Again, I'm going to talk about the retreat. Mm-hmm. We really have to, get that finished.
Yes, I know. I'm working on it.
Yeah. But several times, and we'll probably say this again during the episode when we eventually record it, it was said multiple times that by the presenter that this was the most aligned staff and council he has ever seen.
I heard that. I did get to that part.
Said multiple times. And it was almost said as like a positive.
Yes, it was said as a positive.
Which didn't sit right with me.
That didn't sit right with me either when I heard it.
At the time. And now we're kind of seeing that play out in real time. And the concerns are coming to light. Like, we're seeing what made me uncomfortable. We're seeing it.
Yeah.
Where there's this assumption that we're going to make this budget and you're just going to approve it. We're going to make this tax, I keep forgetting the name of it, tax rate, and you're going to approve it.
Well, see, that's the interesting thing, or that's the most bizarre thing here. The city manager proposed a budget that was lower. He proposed a tax rate that was lower. So, what is it that's going on behind the scenes? Maybe it's going on in an executive session because, they can't talk to one another as a whole group. You can only talk to 4 people.
Yeah, there might be like deals going on behind the scenes that we're not seeing, and that's why they're so in sync.
Maybe with the city manager. I don't know. We're just guessing here, but they're obviously talking to one another in executive session. And they're talking to one another when they were getting the training and at their workshops. So something is going on where, you have a city manager who's, proposed a rate. Well, why didn't he just come out with the rate that he wanted? Is this like a game he's playing? Well, I'll start low and then we can negotiate them up and then we could add more things to the budget.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's like, he probably thought, Maria too always asks for the max. So
we're going to start low and see how we go.
Yeah. We know she's going to ask for the max every single time. So let's save some of these things and then we can put them back in the budget.
Oh, you were talking about the budget.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, well, the rate and the budget, because they go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you need the revenue to do the spending.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were talking about him proposing a lower rate, and then, but knowing that Maria too was going to ask for the highest possible.
Yeah, I think he knew that because she's done it every year.
It's pretty predictable.
Exactly. She always says.
If you can remember, she did the previous year, which I never remember.
He remembers it. Take my word for it, okay?
Well, obviously he remembers it.
Yeah.
No, my memory is not always there.
Or maybe he thought, maybe he didn't know how this was going to play out. So he started out low, hoping that to move up. I don't know if he thought he was going to get any pushback from any of the other council people who were mute.
I mean, maybe he thought might have gotten some pushback. I mean, they're new. This is the first year for many of them, so doesn't know them that well yet. Mm-hmm. No, like the seasoned ones.
Yeah.
And after Shelby and Anthony, you don't know what you're gonna get. Maybe it was a pleasant surprise for him that these people are so chalant. Is that the word? Chalant.
Let's take
I think I combined chill and chalant. And combined it to chalant.
Sure, that works. Why not?
Words are hard.
Yeah.
And numbers are hard. Just life is hard.
If you don't want your property taxes to go up more than $200, go to City Council on Monday night, folks. All right. On to our very important dog. Zeus is a friendly boy who is about 5 years of age. He is a smart dog who will make a great companion for you. He is a playful dog who is never claimed by his owner. One of his eyes has a genetic defect, but it sure doesn't slow him down. He is an active and sweet boy who really wants a new home. He is so affectionate and just a love bug. So, if you are interested in Mr. Zeus, please go to our website, planospoliticalpitbull.com, and click on Pit Bulls for Adoption. Remember, we have the links to the budget and the budget dashboard on our website under our last episode. So if you have not seen it, want to read it, go to our website, planospoliticalpitbull.com, and the link is there. That is going to be it for us today. Like, share, and subscribe if you have enjoyed this episode. This is Esther.
And this is Ruth.
For Plano's Political Pitbull, signing off.